Right. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, if there's so many different schools of Feng Shui, how in the world are we all still achieving the same end result? Because someone that practices black hat versus someone that practices classical, we're going to go about cures, and I use that term kind of loosely. We have a lot of discussions about the word cure, but we use cures differently. We use different ones. How is it that by my approach and your approach being different, we still can get the same outcome for the client?
Yeah, same or similar, I would say.
Similar, right.
Yeah, so I would think, I think a lot of it is to do with intention. Okay, what our intent is, and in the same way that you could have somebody with some particular illness or infection, and you could go and see a regular doctor, or you could go and see a homeopath, or you could go and see a hands-on healer, and you could go and see any type of complementary practitioner, and they would all contribute to moving that person along their path of wellness, from moving away from disease or stress or some kind of infection in the body. There's a way of moving them along that path towards wellness. And I think intention is very, very clearly tied up in this, especially if there's some kind of connection between the practitioner and the client, okay? Because then there's a level of trust and there's a level of understanding. And I think just the simple act of that, to begin with, is a great help in terms of moving energy, transforming. We're talking about transformation.
Right.
So whatever I can do is some kind of intervention, if you want to call it a therapeutic intervention, or if you just hire a great designer. It doesn't have to be Feng Shui. You come in and suddenly you feel better about your place. Now, they may not have checked all of the boxes that Feng Shui would check, but you just feel better about your place. Then that's going to move you along that pathway. Now, is it going to get you ultimately to your final destination? Well, that's ultimately your choice and not mine, because I've done a lot of Feng Shui for clients who call me up and go, oh, nothing's working. I go, well, have you done the things I suggested? Oh, no, we haven't done that yet.
I haven't had time. That's my favorite answer. I haven't had time.
I haven't had time.
Everybody tells me that.
Yeah. And so, well, it only works if you participate. It only works if you really contribute and invest in that. There's also an aspect of all the different Feng Shui traditions, which a colleague of mine in England, a guy called Jan Chiswick, who has studied a lot of environmental psychology, in his research has really concluded that Feng Shui is just placebo. Now, that comes up in a lot of the complementary practice. Say, well, placebo, science sort of looks on placebo like it's a bad thing.
Right.
Well, no, actually, you know, well, if I could get well from taking the placebo instead of having to take some big heavy-hitting chemical with a bunch of side effects,
I'll take it.
I'll take placebo every day.
Absolutely.
So I think in the different techniques of Feng Shui, the different schools of Feng Shui, I think if the healing intention is there, or the intention to bring balance and harmony is there, it doesn't really matter which technique you use. Now, some maybe just skim the surface and make things a little better. Great. Some things go way deeper, more deeper surgery. Right. And it depends what's really called for. If you need deep surgery in your home, you know, by analogy, you know, then you need a practitioner who can provide that. The surface stuff may help a little, but it ain't going to go. But the surface stuff may be the first thing, your first point of contact. And then you start to get into it a little bit and go, ah, right. And then you sort of evolve. So everything's in this gentle, evolving, transformational, unfolding process. So I don't put any of those different schools down, whether they're better or worse than anything else.
They're just different.
They're just different.
And I think you'll find, and our audience will find, that Feng Shui consultants, we all get it. Those of us that practice Feng Shui, we don't really assess whether or not that school is better or worse. It's just, we're kind of accepting of it all being effective, given the right aspect.